I've reopened the Solaire sample file without saving in the previous tutorial because I'd like to discuss image-based lighting. As the name suggests, this technique illuminates the model using the pixels of an image. And the setup is very similar to a clay rendering. Do a test render. And this is what you get with the scan line. Clone the rendered frame window to make a future comparison. Create a skylight and place it anywhere you like in the scene. This time, instead of using pure white as the sky color, click the None button and select Bitmap. I've provided a panorama JPEG for this purpose. It's necessary to adjust this bitmap, and for that you need to open the Material Editor. Drag the bitmap into a slot and instance it there. Change the coordinates from texture to environment so that the bitmap will wrap around the entire model. Change the mapping type to cylindrical environment. View the image, and you'll see that it's a wraparound cylindrical panorama. By the way, I created this from a sequence of stills using Photo Merge in Photoshop CS3. Do another test render, and you'll see your first image-based lighting. Notice that the roof appears in shades of blue because of the sky color in the bitmap. Now it doesn't look that realistic at first, and that's because we are rendering it purely with the scan line right now. I'm going to go ahead and clone the rendered frame window yet again to make another comparison. It's possible to cast shadows by checking this button here within the skylight. Do this if you're using Viz. However, if you have 3ds Max, there's a better way to cast shadows that processes more quickly and gives more convincing results. That is, use the light tracer. Go to the rendered scene dialog and click on the Advanced Lighting tab. Select the light tracer and render again. We're seeing the same problem here that we experienced with the clay render. That is, the roof is black. I'll cancel the rendering and address this issue. Go to the Utilities tab and use MaxScript. Run the script if you haven't already. It's down here. Fix materials for clay render. Select the building to change all of its ambient colors to white. Then render again. So the image-based lighting in conjunction with the light tracer is giving us subtle lighting and shadow at the same time. Compare that to this image, which is image-based lighting without the light tracer. And this is the scanline rendering. Now we're making strides here, but I have to say that this rendering is too dark. Let's use an effect that will give us real-time control over brightness and contrast. Go to the Effects on the Rendering menu and add Brightness and Contrast. When you click Interactive, it will force another rendering, and when the rendering is complete, we will have the ability to adjust brightness and contrast in real time. So this rendering took 42 seconds to complete. And now I have the ability to adjust these parameters. Notice that the rendered frame window says Effects Preview up here, indicating that it has this connection, this interactive connection. I'll increase the brightness and just play with the contrast. You'll be able to get the rendering looking great in no time. So there you have it. Image-based lighting created with the skylight and the light tracer and the brightness and contrast effect.